a job interview today where I went in office, so I'm hoping that went well. I felt like it
Nice.
went well. Hoping on the
Nice.
small grind. And the reason I didn't go to the local, I mean, while I was working on like the job stuff, I got a brand new box.
Ooh,
So
okay.
I'm trying this out. And it's from like, what's the word? It's there's like nothing on it. I had to do everything myself for it. So I've been testing what makes it feel like Hax's box because that's usually the box that I use. So this is technically like on par with the Frame One in the terms of limitations. It feels way better. I just have to get used to it, but it's really pretty and it's really small. That's the main reason I got it. Is the shit's so fucking thin.
That looks awesome. Yo, I think I've seen those floating around too. I don't know which Canadian I've seen with them, but I think I've seen somebody with one of them at locals. So,
Yeah, it's a super slab. I got it because it has a gyro in it, and I get to play Super Monkey Ball with it.
oh,
As
that's
silly as
sick.
it sounds.
No, quality of life matters. Like, if you can if playing Super Monkey Ball is the difference maker, then who like who are we to say that's wrong? So, this is you versus Sunsei, you mentioned.
Correct. Correct.
How'd you feel going into this set?
I think a really good like thing that I've been trying to think of is that in my head this is obviously a really good player, but like God's bleed or whatever in the sense of like trying not to put someone on a pedestal. Breathe. They are just a normal player like everyone else. They happen to be good, but that doesn't mean that I can't also be good at the same time.
That's very similar to the pep talk I gave to Moki when he went up, when he played at Collision. Collision and Genesis, it's just like, I asked him, like, do you need anything from me, or are you ready, like, are you ready to fight everyone? And it was like, yep, we are good to go. And I think I said, okay, cool. Because, yeah, like, we've prepared for all these people, like, we know what we're doing. You've got the game plan. I've seen you execute them. You can do this. And then the only thing that he agreed, and I think the way I left it was, trust your eyes, trust your ears, trust your instincts because we can't react to everything. And at the end of the day, you have everything you need. They're strong, but you're strong too. So, yeah, just
Oh, nice.
yeah, it's just like they're strong. If you lose, like there's no shame in it. They're very powerful, but you can win because you are also very strong. So, yeah, just go and have fun. Do your thing. Trust yourself.
Understood.
Yeah, so it sounds like you've got a similar thing going on. Because, like, yeah, gods bleed, but, like, you're strong, like, they're strong. They happen to be very good, but, you are too. So, let's boogie. I think that is a great way to go into this. So, just to quickly confirm, you are blue?
Yeah. Yes. That's my
Okay.
dog.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome. I've been meaning to ask what your dog's name is, but I I feel like that's come up before, but like I just did not clue into it till now.
You're good.
So already I can say that there's a bunch of things I like that you're doing. I love that you called out that angle early because I feel like that is one of the big checks of this matchup that like a
Yeah.
lot of people don't bother doing. So in addition to that, I would say that your choices are a little more. I know that Fox can kind of break the rules when it comes to like his percent choices. Like if you ever watch Mango's Fox play any matchup, like he basically ignores like the recommended percents. But I will say that I think you're doing a better job of obeying them where it's possible. Like I haven't really seen you go for like not like I haven't seen you do that nair. Like you see the nair he just went for where he kind of like, he goes for that back air. You were in the air, but you were still at 0, so it's kind of a little sus. And then he goes for this neutral air. And, like, yeah, and I'm like, that there is so bad there. And I haven't really seen you go for anything like that. Now, that can be restrictive in the long run if you never go for those, because, again, L cancels for 7, hits on 4. Like, it's an extremely efficient move. Even when it's not the right percent, the right quote-unquote percent, its ability to catch people out of the air and then convert to shines is still, like, not to be underestimated. But at the same time, like, you just don't want to be, like, over-relying on something that doesn't work if they don't jump. So, yeah.
So he fuck schmixes me there.
Honestly, like, I really like how you're playing this structurally. I think that everything you're doing makes a ton of sense. Like, that Nair was a little sus, but, like, all in all, it's all just, like, little things. Like, the actual core, like, those backers were, like, gold. All the basics of, like, the core foundation of what you're going for, it just makes a lot of sense in relation to what he's going for. And I'm wondering where he, like, figures out, like, what to do. Because right now, I don't see, like, anything obvious for him to work with. But he's also...
Sorry, please continue. I am listening. I'm so sorry.
No. What was that? What were you beating your? What were you sad about?
I overshot the up smash by a slight. So this, I had this. And
oh, I see.
Preemptive. This was not a react. This was definitely a read. What was it? I feel like it would be really odd to try and read that, and I just like kill myself if that was the case. So maybe it was a react, but in any sense, I still missed it. When my goal plan was an intentional up smash, I just walked too far, or ran too far.
So after this situation, my question is what do you like instead of up smash? Because I get like the. So are you saying you would go for the up smash on this too?
What is the situation? I'm so sorry. I missed the up smash right here, right?
Okay, so you kill him, and then I know that we had like the up smash into missed up smash, like into up smash. You didn't even miss him. You just got the sour spot.
Yeah, okay. So here on a tech chase, no, I mean, if this sour thing, I'd probably just try to gain ground, and I think that's what I try to do, but maybe very, very small amounts. Because I would think that I'm actually, I don't know if I'm not negative, right?
No, you can totally follow up on this.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, to me, this is running shine.
Yeah, I'm not acting here. I think I'm just, oh, see, right there.
Yeah, you go for like you go for some kind of jump. So I think that you might have been trying to either up smash him or bait him into something.
I think what I really like doing there is usually like instant frame one nair.
And why the nair?
The strong hit frame one nair would either knock him down if he's already holding down again, leading to another scramble. This time I'm center stage. I feel much more comfortable to follow up. I mean, Shine here theoretically makes the most sense out of anything. And in the case that he's not doing that, he gets kind of flown off stage at 50 with bad DI, or it combos if he's holding in on the Nair. I think just like Nair here, I get so much more off it in my head. And I just was too slow because I could have started the Nair way earlier.
Yeah.
Because you can jump during dash and whatnot. But traditionally, I think I either do Nair or spot dodge, either to covers. Sorry, not Nair or spot. Nair or drill, but I'm very certain this is not a situation I go for drill.
Yeah, I think you probably go for the Nair here. The reason I like the Shine here is because it abuses the tech lockout a little bit.
I was not thinking that, but that makes total sense.
Yeah, because this is kind of like the this is like the Cody and Hack's Wave Shine setup, right? So because he's teched in place, he's kind of locked himself out of a lot of like the tech timings for Shine. So you can just kind of like Wave Shine forward into like down tilt or whatever, and the combo is basically guaranteed.
I have never thought of that. That sounds insane. In fact, you could do this. Is this a large reason why Sunsei and Moki use back throw to tech chase, and they're so quick there that they can do like on reaction like running Shine into down tilt?
Yeah. If they react to the tech in place and then Shine into down tilt, yeah, that would be the same interaction.
I've never thought of that. Makes complete sense now. That's great. Okay, yeah, that's something I should look forward to.
So yeah, like honestly, let's grab this and like just actually, you know what? Honestly, let's grab this and make a quick screenshot out of it, because this is, I think, something that probably comes up a good amount. So, what would be the situation that we want to grab? It's probably after the yeah. So here, honestly, even after this tech, well, no, he definitely is in the air for long enough, but so then he rolls inward, so we get this. So yeah, probably around here, like we'd be able to confirm that this is a tech in place. Yeah, so let's just grab this and make a note. hitting him out of this. Shining here. Tech lockout. On tip. Because tech in place. Tech lockout.
Makes sense to me, Captain.
Yeah, so like you could do shine wave dash down. No, shine D-tilt is like the standard combo, I think. But like there's a million ways to abuse this. Like if he's closer to the edge, like double shine is pretty traditional. You could probably shine aerial and then like shine then short hop aerial and then do it over the edge kind of. Like so you land on stage but the aerial hangs over it kind of. And catches some double jump timings. Like there's a million ways to abuse this. But yeah.
That's really important for me to understand and know.
Well, yeah, because like the other cool thing is with side platform, like when you up air them, right? Like if you up air them and they tech in place here for some reason, that's why if they hold down, they never tech there.
Interesting. Okay.
Because you've seen that before too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's a huge thing for Sheik players. Like, it's more common for Sheiks and Falcons. It's a thing that Sheiks and Falcons abuse more. But yeah, like, absolutely, that's, like, it's a super useful thing for, like, any character to know how that works.
Let's see. I should have gone for an Armada Shine there. In fact, this was actually the tournament. Yeah, this is literally perfect Armada Shine territory. This is the tournament where I walked up to Salami and I said, because he's been telling me that, Armada Shine's obviously important and whatnot, but this was the tournament I finally got it, like, an Uncle Punch that I can do it with, like, 95% consistency. And I just didn't try. I think I was too nervous, and I just fell back to my roots.
Well, the cool thing here is you could have also, like, done the old school setup for it, too. Because, like, you do this perfect refresh, and after this refresh, because you can't get hit by this because of how you've lined up your ledge intangibility, you can actually like wait for him to get to the top of his Firefox and then ledge hop back him here.
Yeah.
Like,
why did I do roll? I didn't do roll, right? I did do roll.
I think you thought he was dead. I think you just misjudged the distance and thought he was dead when he wasn't.
I definitely misjudged the distance. I think what I did instead was I thought that he was going for an angle that wasn't, like, a stage. So, this is definitely misjudging the angle. In my head, I'm like, okay, well, he's not going to make it to stage. And then it keeps going. I'm like, okay, I misjudged. So this is just a minor misjudging from my point of view.
Yeah, agreed. The only thing I'd say here is that if it ever comes down to, like, a decision where you can solve it, but where you can have, like... To me, this is a situation where I would always go up and hit him, because the cost of the uncertainty of him, like, having to... Because, like, because you can hit him when he's at the peak of his jump and while he's, like, falling to the edge, you're realistically hitting him about here, right? So then the spot that he's going off stage from your back air, assuming that you like double jump to align yourself with when his hitbox is gone, and then fast fall here, and then hit the back air here, like you should, you're hitting him somewhere within this space. So the Edgeguard, the recovery he gets is really bad. Like he's getting hit off basically like as close to the ground as one can be without actually touching the ground. So his recovery angle is going to suck on the next interaction. You probably just checkmate him on the next one anyway. Whereas if you're wrong on the ambiguous one, like this is a very difficult like judgment call in the moment. So if it comes down to like judgment call versus just hitting him again, I almost always value hitting him again, especially on Battlefield. The other cool thing that you could do is because it's Battlefield, you could just drill him. Because if you put him here from the drill, he can only go straight up anyway, so you just grab the edge and shine spike him.
Yeah, makes sense.
So yeah, so I would just say that like at this range, it is worth noting that at this distance he can still make it back. Like that is actually useful. Because that also gives us a better sense of what his drift is. His drift is about this angle. It's actually more like this. I'd say like 70 degrees seems about right from this. So yeah, he just like barely makes it to the stage. But more importantly, like what this tells us is in this kind of situation, because of the stage we're on, we don't really have to like deal with any of this if we don't want to. Because once we force him below this line, he has no options. So drilling him downwards here, like this makes a lot of sense. And then the other spot thing that we have is, if we ledge hop onto the stage at about this trajectory, we can also just fast fall back here to hit this area. And there's not a whole lot he can really do about it. Like, we're really just kind of hitting this height.
Agreed.
Yeah. But all in all, I don't think that, like, this is what cost us the game or anything like that. I think that this is just like a footnote, really, because I think you kill him pretty quickly afterwards. Maybe he gets a bit of a combo. Okay. More than a bit. 41. Nah, 41's fine.
I can't believe I actually teched that.
Which one?
I think I missed the tech on the first one. After he did the up tilt. I can't believe I teched. So here is where I kind of like, I feel like the up tilt would have locked out my window if I missed it. So either I timed it really early or I missed it entirely and I got lucky at the end.
Or you might have just assumed that he was going to follow up on you.
Yeah.
Like after the up smash. Like the up smash and then like, I think it's a pretty like safe assumption that he's going to attack you again if he can. So I think that it's either the early one or you just or you like interpreted the situation correctly, or both.
Mm-hmm.
What I will say is that like your percent conscientiousness is helping you a lot, because it looks like a lot of his combo game in these games, like even the fact that you knew to like drill and then down tilt to take the extra damage, like could you have gone for grab or something? Yeah, probably, but like the fact that you knew to drill with him being so low, the fact that you're going for up airs, the moves that you're doing have impact if they land on him. He has to actually defend properly in order for them not to. Like that up smash by him, like what was that? Like you wound up like reversaling him. That could have been so much more. I think that where this is going to come into where you're going to have problems later in the set, assuming this keeps up, is he's going to start doing what he's doing now, and in the mid game he's going to play around your like, since you're prioritizing the moves that have like higher impact on hit and are a little bit more appropriate to the percent that he's at, I think that what he's going to try to do is put you in game situations where those options are less effective and where he's positioned to like beat them on a different, like more on like his hitbox advantage or something. But like I think that the reason you have this big lead is because the things you started out the game with were just like really, really suited for the game state in the damage, from the damage perspective. And honestly, that's like good. Like that's just good. Like the thing that I like about that is it's concrete and you can just outplay people on that. It's not the only way to outplay someone, but yeah, like the moves you're hitting him with are just well suited for the part of his stock that he's at, and that makes him have to do things to beat those things. And I think that if I'm right about that, we're gonna see him make adjustments based on like baiting those things. Like that would be my solution if I were in his shoes.
Yeah. You also see, as soon as I take that game, I tried everything I can to breathe and make sure it does not get to my head, because I just try and do what worked before. And if he makes adjustments, great. If he, then that's on me to make more adjustments. I think something that I will fall into a lot that I actually don't think super led to my downfall, because I haven't super reviewed this footage, but something that I noticed is that I start double jump baiting a lot. I mean, I think I talked about it in our first meeting. It's something that's really, really prevalent overall that I do. And I don't think I did it super often in this set, or rather that first match. And then I will eventually start falling down that path, because I'm like, oh no, this is not going well for me. I need to take a deep breath. Didn't shine on a shield.
Yeah, I'm starting to see you play more of a vertical game too. And I think part of it is like, if we look at his decisions are a little bit more like appropriate to our, to your percent. So it's almost like what he's doing which is interesting. It's not the absolute approach that I thought he was going to take, but it looks like he's just trying to like beat you at your own game at this, for the here. Like he, instead of trying to counter what you're doing, he's just doing like the same thing back. So he's cleaned up his game based on percents, basically. Like, he's switched to back airs at, like, high percents. At this point, I'm going to expect to see more drills. Fewer nairs and stuff. back air is kind of like back air's hitbox is so like hard to like count, like is so hard to like beat in this matchup that like in terms of its sheer efficiency, I can kind of forgive those. Like I can kind of look at those back airs not as like a low percent option, but as a we need a hitbox that like deals with your stuff option. But you can see what I mean. Like he's cleaned up his percent game a lot. Like we're going for chain grabs, we've got up tilts at the right percents, we've got back throw tech chases. Like he's just doing a better job of controlling like where you go with his hits. So he's kind of matching what you were doing to him in the first game.
Understood.
So I guess the question for us is like, so if his solution is to just kind of like fight fire with fire, then what do we do? Because like we could theoretically just beat him at like doing this too. Like that is an option. The drawback of that strategy is it requires us to be better than Sunsei. But the advantage is because we're playing the same character with the same abilities, it is a viable option. The other route we can go is we can play to beat what he's doing. But you can see what I mean. Like these are the types of moves that he should have been doing game one at those percents. Like this whole low percent sequence is just like perfect. Like low back air. We've got up smash, like shine, up smash, anti-air. We've got Sakurai angle there into shine. Like this is just perfect textbook. It's a little wacky for a textbook. Like it's definitely not like the current edition, but like it's definitely maybe it's like some like custom thing. But like, yeah.
I understand where that fell apart.
What's good is that it's not something specifically that you're doing. It's him turning up the jets, basically. That's the impression that I'm getting. So, I guess my question is, if we can't beat him straight on, for what do you think a solution would be?
We can't beat him straight on. I mean, try to play more reactive and try to, I think, be. Frankly, I'm gonna be real. I don't think I have an answer.
That's okay. I think that we do. I think that it is what. I think that there's kind of like. I think what you're doing right now with how you're like choosing to like beat him, like choosing to fight him with more space, is a good option, because it gives you more room to like bait him for going for like the percent appropriate things. Again, if he is matching what we're doing, in the sense that he is also going for the things that make sense at this percent, that means that we have a good idea of like what he's going for. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right. So part of this matchup's dynamic is that the more textbook, quote unquote, you play, the easier it is to like bait the opponent or read what they're doing, because yeah, like the routes and what we go for are like very optimized. Like they're pretty optimized at the highest levels. So if somebody wants to just like go through Leffen or Cody's flowchart, all of that information is more or less available in terms of like what that would look like. So with that in mind, I would say that there's kind of like a natural tension in this matchup, because we don't want to like just copy the textbook, but at the same time, the textbook is what's most efficient. So I think that that's kind of where like the juncture is. I'm curious about this fair though. But what were you gonna ask?
Well,
or say?
I wasn't gonna ask. It's I agree. I was gonna say actually, is the best thing to do here Laserland reaction up smash, because he's at 92. He's going to die. This is just a thing that I do, where I tried hitting the reverse forward air here.
Oh.
And then it would be up smash in the opposite direction.
Oh, I think I think that the weak aerial makes sense. I would have just gone for first hit up air.
I understood. This is probably the combo I do, like, quote unquote, the flashes combo that I do the most. And so my brain just like, oh, I'm gonna hit this here. Understandable that, you know, there's a lot of different options, much more effective options. I think this is just like the personality and my type of gameplay that I do, that this is the reason why I did the forward air.
Okay,
I am
gotcha.
glad it did not. It did not reverse it though. That's the heartbreaker.
Gotcha. Yeah, I figured like I've seen Ryan Ford do similar combos as well, and I've seen Moki. Like I've seen like a lot of the Canadians go for similar stuff. So I figured that's what was going on. I just wanted to make sure. But yeah, I think that if we want to, like, it's clear that something into up smash there is the right play. I'm not gonna lose any sleep. Like, I will not lose any sleep over that being a stylistic choice there. As long as we can both acknowledge there were probably more direct routes to that up smash, I'm good with moving on.
Yeah, fair enough. I just wanted to say that that was the Twitter thing that I put. The first clip is what I meant to do. We do not have to watch it. I was just that is the vision that I was having, and then I fucked up. Ooh,
Gotcha.
I actually really like the down tilt I did.
I really like that down tilt too. I think that like this is a good example of where we need like for these kind of awkward tech chases when we're not always sure that we're going to get them or not. I think that this is where having easy options or coverage-based strategies can be quite good. Something I've been seeing Cody go for is like just going for up air to hit here on the tech and place timings, and then him running over here with shines or other things on the shines or grabs on the tech rolls. What do you think of that kind of follow-up?
Knowing what you told me about the up air, like just in general and specifically about tech in place, I don't know if I would have gone for it. I definitely would have gone for something like shine, like running shine, but I guess it also does cover what is it if they tech in. So this is actually that sounds like a lot better.
Yeah, like we'd up air to hit like here, and then if he rolls inward, we grab this way.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the other nice thing about it is that we're also limiting how much we're interacting with tech and place shine. So we're like reducing our odds of getting reversaled.
Heartbreaking, missed it.
What happened there? So we got these back airs.
I mistimed my back air. I think at this point I'm getting very nervous. I hit the first back air and then off the platform I missed the edge canceled second back air. And I think that that kind of costed that.
Gotcha, and then he got you with a bunch of damage.
Yeah, and I'm trying to ledge dash this entire set, and I think I'm way too fucking nervous.
But you get this. I was gonna say this does not look like the type of Edgeguard that we would like. With how nervous you are, I feel like this is a very ambitious Edgeguard to expect us to hit.
I was told by Salami that in this instance, no matter what, I should try to go for shine back air, and then I can react if they go higher. Shine covers, them going towards me, and then the back air obviously hits them off if they go like slightly higher, and then if they go even higher than that, I can react and try and like get a lot more, or just straight up kill them for going too high.
See, that's interesting because like I get why he's suggesting that, but I'm actually thinking that I actually like drill for like the same reason, but because it's simpler.
If he went higher due to the amount of invulnerability I have, would drill even last? Like, would it, like, say he goes slightly higher, right? We know the angle obviously he's going right now, but if he went like towards like like higher than I guess the name tag, if I did drill, I think I would just trade, And then depending on how weak Fox's like down air is, wouldn't he just grab ledge?
So I'm thinking we kind of like cover this. So what I'm thinking is that we cover like this area, like up to about here with the drill, right? So the idea is that we're like kind of moving ourselves out of the way of the Foxes up B as as with our jump. So
Okay.
so like Foxes up B, like if we put our drill to cover like this space basically. Like, we can agree that, like, Fox's drill will cover this area, right?
Yes.
And then we land here. So, with Fox's, like, wall squeeze, there's kind of, like, he's not really able to hit, like, if we land in about this spot, he can't really hit that spot with his up B, can he? Like, the way I view it is, he can kind of, like, from his original starting a position over, what, here?
Mm-hmm.
Like, where was he? Let me go back here. Because I want to know exactly where he was when he started this, because that's important. Okay, so it's coming up. So let's I want to see exactly where it is because he gets shined off here. Cool, so he's all the way over here. In fact, let's use this as our diagram because this is probably a better one. So I'm thinking we cover like this. I'm thinking that we cover basically from here, covering like the low squeeze to about here with the drill. And as we reach the top of our jump, like once we reach the top of our jump, we want to drift into the stage like about here. So we're kind of like holding inwards with it once we've hit the apex of our jump, because the idea is that we're trying to get out of the way of the aggressive recovery angles. Because then we can just attack him afterwards. You know what I mean? So we're not actually trying to like hit him with like cover every single thing with the drill. We're just trying to like, if he goes over, he misses us. That's the idea here.
Oh, okay. This is clicked. And if he misses, like, wait, so we're covering if he goes low, but since he misses us, I'm in a prime position to do up tilt, back air, anything else.
Yes. So all of the outcomes here we're hitting afterwards, and then we're just covering everything below this space.
Understood. Okay.
Yeah.
I picked up what you're putting down.
Yeah, because like, and I think that the problem with the shine is that like all we're really doing is like we're putting a shine here, and then we're trying to cover like this whole space with it. But this is the shine realistically, like no matter where we put it, it's only covering one timing.
Sure.
So, like, I get why Salam is, like, suggesting that play, because it gives you, like, extra coverage on this, but to me, like, his play is just trying to solve too many problems with one additional option, and I just don't think that, like, with Fox's breadth of recovery angles, it's really... I don't think Fox is really capable of doing that, even to himself.
Sure. Okay, understood.
Yeah, this is just, like, a... I could see this working better versus Falco, because Falco has, like, more restrictive angles because of his distance problems. But, like, against Fox himself, I just don't think that we have, like, the firepower that Salam is suggesting we do. So, for me, it's just different tool for a different occasion.
So, would it be apt to say... I don't know how to use the word apt, I apologize. Would it be correct to say that, so, as you said, something, Salam's trying to solve too many problems, and this kind of, like, methodology, or rather steps, is one at a time. Like first we're gonna solve that whether or not he goes low, and then once that's over and we realize he is or isn't, then we'll move on to the next step, which is like we're on stage, we're primed for like a proper like counter attack, or rather just a proper edge guard.
Correct.
Cool. So it's taking it one step out of a time rather than like trying to solve the whole problem at once.
Yeah, absolutely. And the key of it is that we're landing in the safest spot possible based on the restrictions of his angle. Because if his angle comes into any of this territory, we know we hit him. So because of that, we are positioning ourselves deep in the stage, deep enough on the stage so that if he goes to any of these higher ones, he can't hit us, so we're then able to cover these other options. We are using position to eliminate the possibility of reversal.
This one, so far I really like this understanding, or rather this approach to the problem.
Yeah, and the cool thing here is, if we think about how legend intangibility works, you can actually like use your legend tangibility to like inform your decision even further. So like, you see how he actually goes into you, but then like he winds up missing you, right?
Correct.
So, something cool, and this is like one of my favorite things, because this is an application of frame data, but Fox doesn't begin moving from his up B until the 42nd frame of his up B. So, if you know that he started this, like, if you have an idea on when he started this in relation to your edge grab, it takes 30 frames upon releasing the edge to re-grab it. So you can use that to kind of like align your legend tangibility. Like you could have, I think, Firefox stalled here almost. Maybe like not exactly. You would have had to grab it like a smidge earlier. But if you could have Firefox stalled, you can actually react to him coming into you, because this outcome is then guarded by you having intangibility. So you can actually enhance this if you have a good sense of when you're refreshed, you can actually enhance this by like having intangibility as he's approaching you, so that you can react to these angles, shine him, and then cover everything up here, sometimes even with shines. Like, this system gets really, really crazy when you start optimizing like how you grab when you grab the ledge in relation to his movement. And Fox's up B is actually pretty convenient because it moves on 42, so it's about 10 frames. If you grab the edge at the same time that he starts his up B, after factoring in cliff weight, you basically have time for one ledge refresh before, and then he'll begin moving. So there's lots of ways to like optimize this further that enhance your coverage tremendously. Like Hacks in particular was really, really good at that. Cody's also insane at it, but I get tired of like plugging him.
Sure. Okay.
But does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. No!
It dies for a second. It'll come back in like 10 seconds.
Slime, what do we pay you for?
Was this?
No, this is like definitely not him. Melee. So, okay, cool. So let's speed this up. Great angle. Oh my god. Okay.
I know.
So to me it looked like he, so it's rare that I use this reasoning, but to me it looked like he kind of just overpowered you. Once he started turning up the jets, it looks like he was able to match your offense and take control of the game from the same strengths that you were using to be successful within the first game. So he kind of just like wrestled back. Like, it's kind of like you pushed him and then he pushed back even harder, and then you kind of lost balance. That's the impression that I get here. How does that kind of align with how it felt fighting him?
I think so, due to the fact that even in a lot of skirmishes, you can see that I'm constantly like, my defensive game just wasn't nearly as good. There was a lot of times where I didn't shine out a shield on his offense. I missed very obvious techs that, like, after like trading nairs with him, and he was like ready for it. It's just overall, I think my offensive game and a lot of I actually really, something I want to commend myself for is that I think that there's a lot of times I actually baited his like grab attempts in the first game, and in like, for example, the Pokemon Stadium game where I did the down tilt, where I like waveland past him down tilted.
Oh yeah, you were tricky as hell with that.
I think there's like 3 moments that I'm really proud of that like I tripped up his movement and rather bait attempts. But other than that, I literally feel like my defense in this entire game was pretty shit. And it's alright. It'll get better if I, work on it, improve on it, learn how to properly shine on a shield, actually go for it every time. Yeah. I really think that my defense was shit, but that's okay because we get better and we improve.
For sure. One other thing that we might want to consider is if we know that he's overpowering us, and I think that from the second game that much is like kind of straightforward. What are some tools that, like, if you had to think about how Leffen would stop this, or like how Cody would potentially throw a monkey wrench into this, what are some things that you think that they might go for?
First off, one thing is grab, due to the fact that if I get grab, like, everything slows down his momentum and slows down his roll. I just have to try and find an opening. But realistically, like, that's like obviously the best case. I think the best thing I could do is actually a lot of fade back drills, kind of test his like patience and see how much he's willing to go in.
I would agree with that. I'd also add up tilt.
Interesting. I actually think I do a lot of up tilts to do that, and I think he better players me and understands my cadence. Oh, actually, like, did I laser land that? I think I did, instead of teching.
Let's take a look at that. Because
he hits me with this.
Yep, you absolutely did that. That was a very good reversal. And you said that he's like matching your cadence, but like I think that part of why is that you spend a lot of time with your gameplay like facing towards him. So maybe there's an opportunity to be better at using your back air and your full hop and your up tilt as like as walling tools, because it's usually out of like turnaround or landing that you go for it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not really like, you don't really move into them that often. And I get why, like, wave dashing at someone and up tilting is scary, but, you know, you're Fox. You have a lot of, you have other options out of wave dash as well. Like, you've got your shield, you've got your shine, crouch cancel is quite strong for you. I think that there's maybe some power in your, like, facing away stance. You also have dash away, like, but I think that there's some amount of, power or versatility in the away stance that isn't really being tapped into.
Sure. I think that's pretty fair to say. I am pretty mesmerized of like Cody and like trying, frankly, just as silly as it sounds, it's just back air shine, but he does it with such like aggressiveness, like really into them. I mean, like obviously he's like a good player. He can space it, and there are instances where he does space it. But even in this instance, he does it. He does back air shine, back air, and then it's just like an instant barrage of if you get hit, this is gonna be a lot of fucking damage. And it's I think that's just something I gotta get into the practice of. But I do want to say that last stock, either it was the last stock or the stock before I did, it doesn't really matter. I did try really hard to up tilt a lot to match it. And I think that's the perfect example of he just like better playered me, understood my cadence, my tempo, and just kind of rocked me, especially with the up tilt. Where I think that if I did like drift, I mean, obviously, like if I continuously, as I actually think I did, I just kept spamming up tilt, hoping he'd run into it to try and throw a wrench. But I think mixing in like, I think that's what also helped him understand my cadence and like the tempo and how to counter or like rather punish me for it. Whereas if I just did like drift back or like fade back there or like in place there, I think I could have gotten a lot more understanding or a lot more damage, essentially. I don't know if damage, but definitely slowed it down. More so than autopilot up tilt, hope he runs into it, he didn't. He knew I was going to up tilt, he punished me, I'm in the air, I'm dead.
Yeah, so why don't we take a look at would you be down to take a look at a game of Cody's and then see what he does?
Sure.
So, okay, so what would be a good one for Cody's to watch? I feel like we probably should watch a Fox Ditto. When was he playing really well? I feel like he played really well against Leffen at like Battle of BC, but I know that Leffen wasn't really in great form there. What would be a good Cody set to watch, you think? We could watch Cody from Collision again, I guess. Suppose I've used this set a bunch, but he wasn't playing super well there. You know what? Let's do Josh Man. They've had some things. Battle of BC, sure. I think he won this tournament. Okay, that was by Josh Man, but I mean that looked really good.
Specifically the back airs.
Yeah, like I mean, like, so what do you notice about like? So actually, yeah, we can use Josh Man as our example if he's gonna be the one doing them. What do you notice about like how? Well, actually, yeah, they both do that. So what do you notice about like how they kind of position when they've got their backs to each other?
So far from this set, I guess I haven't really thought of it. Oh my god, that's crazy. I haven't really seen from the very short amount of time. Yeah, I mean, the cross up of the backer was really strong, but it's also more so that he doesn't really give up advantage. He just very much sticks close to them, to Cody, and uses it, Fox's like boxing tools to get a lot out of it.
Yeah, it's like we don't necessarily need like a legit like a true combo, as long as we just keep like on it. Like, and I think that Cody has good awareness on this one here, like on this one here. He understands the percent deficit and just gets out of there. Granted, he gets like hit into the corner, but like the way that he like doesn't really let Joshman get anything for that is, I think, quite commendable.
Could we go back? Is that shine down tilt a prime example of what we talked about, where they teched in place? So, oh no, they didn't even tech at all. It was just mistech. Never mind.
I think that he might have shielded right before it though. Maybe that was on Cody's end. So no. He just got hit by this and then he just went for it.
Yeah.
Honestly, like sometimes it's good to just go for that stuff though. Because he's also, like, being hit into the corner, right? So... Yeah, like, if he techs in place, if he techs in place, that probably gets him. If he, like, misses the tech, it gets him. If he rolls away or rolls into you, you're probably... Like, if he rolls into you, I think you can just shine him anyway. Yeah. Like, that up smash makes a lot of sense to me. That there, yeah, same idea. Like, same thing here. Like, he techs this, so then when he gets this on him, I don't think he can... I guess he's airborne for a good amount, so he's able to tech again, but yeah, like, that wave shine into down tilt, I think, is just, seems like a good, like, thing to do, generally.
Would you happen to know I'm sure I could just find it, and I will allow it. Would you ever just know the percent that knocks down?
Down tilt, I would say probably around, like, 12.
Cool. Understood.
I don't know if that's the real number, but, like, it's early. Down tilt, like, Fox's down tilt is crazy. So back airs. So I think that we're going to see a bit here, like, yeah. So with the way that Josh, yeah, like these back airs, I think could be a big thing here, because I don't really see you go for for this kind of like walling style, you know.
Agreed. I definitely am someone that runs at someone a lot, like a little too much. But I agree that the turning my back, especially with how prevalent these tools are.
What do you think the advantage of these moves, of these back airs and walling moves are over like just aggression? Like why do you think the pros are here?
Well, when it stuffs out the opponent for if they want to come in, you don't necessarily have to approach with either of them. The reward and payoff is so good because of Fox's cracked frame data that, oh my god, sorry.
No.
I just thought that like that call out of like, surely that wasn't guaranteed, right? Yeah, it wasn't, but it was just a crazy call out. A lot of it.
The way he whiff punished afterwards, like, look at this shark. This is so sick.
Yeah.
Like, I think that was supposed to be an up throw. I think that he was just moving too fast, but like on the stick, but like everything there was so sick with how he moved into it. But like the fact that he had to do something that difficult and that like dash dance is that tight in such a like just to punish like a falling back air, I think speaks a lot to just how powerful the tool is.
Yeah. I also saw a moment where Joshua actually did is quite a while back, but it was a really simple, like he did drill while facing backwards, but it's the fact that because he's facing backwards that it's the threat of the back air.
Yeah.
Something that I'm not really thinking of, that like just because I'm facing backwards does not mean I have to use them, even though they're obviously incredibly good tools. It's just the opponent sees my back is faced towards them. I have so much to do, or so much I can do.
And look at how well he runs. After this up tilt misses, I feel like something that's common is we want to stay and fight in that spot. But like the way that Josh Man like moves into the back air position, then gets out of the way and punishes Cody with that waveland bait by like he looks like he's gonna back air, then he slides out of the way. Cody tries to get the jump on him, and then he's able to counter hit with this nair. So this is like a really intricate baiting system that's going on. That's all made possible because of the assumption that he is going to back air there. So it's kind of like what you were pointing out about like the drill, except like we can kind of like it's the same idea that you're pointing out with the drill. Like so much of this is made possible because of how much people have to respect the back air. It's kind of like how people respect Sheik's forward tilt, honestly. Or Marth's fair.
Yeah. That makes sense. Also, could you go back simply just to see the shine? I wanted to see what percent this night. It's 15%. Yeah, okay. I just wanted to see the knockdown. Okay, it was 15%, or at least something slightly lower.
Like that's it. Like that's ridiculous. So 19. It was 19% going into it for like the actual down tilt connecting. Oh, that's crazy. That's so low.
Wow, that's a crazy neutral air.
Cody's Fox is like, I don't know. I love watching his Fox. It's so good.
I agree. My favorite player used to be Leffen. I love Leffen's Fox a lot. But I feel like the way that Cody kind of like literally pushes this character to its limit is so impressive. And like actually playing him, like I would warm up because I worked summits before. I'd be there like 6 in the morning, and I just like, oh hey, I want to play with Cody or Salt or Mango or whatnot. And at the time, I was like, all right, I'm like, I'm not obviously not great practice, but at the very least, I'm not getting like my shit pushed in. Yeah, Cody destroyed me every single time. I don't think it was genuinely like, I wouldn't say life-changing, obviously, but really eye-opening to see how insane he truly is, especially in the Fox Ditto. These backers are so good.
Like, look at, like, can we appreciate, like, this? Like, I know that they are but simple back airs, but, like, can we appreciate how good these two back airs are? Like, this and then this one, like, just, so well done. So professional. And what I love is, like, okay, so the way he, like, backs up on the second one, just to, like, get that little bit of, like, micro spacing before he goes into it. Because he could have just, like, chilled and, like, done it from his current location, but the fact that he, like, dash jumped and then jumped in place for it almost. Like, he moved during the jump squat frames using his dash jump, and then, like, did, like, an almost stationary jump to, like, hit him.
It really seemed like it was also kind of adds to, like, a bit of a feint. Like you're seeing that Cody is running away. And I know that Melee's played in a lot of unreactionable spots because of, like, how fast the game moves. But to me, like, looking at that, like, oh my, like, he mixed him up with another back air. And
yeah. No, I agree, because, like, we're going to see the initial dash jump motion, and we're going to go, okay, cool, like, go. Like, get him. He's running away. Our game is slipping away from us. And then he's like, have another one. Like, yeah. I think that right there, that dash jump and, like, how he's, like, playing with the velocity that he moves away from his opponent is, like, a component of, like, the away stance that doesn't get talked about, but I think it's really one of the keys to, like, making it work. Because by establishing, like, up tilt is a very powerful tool that requires the opponent to, like, play around it somewhat, right? And we're seeing that, like, when people start hanging out in that zone outside of the up tilt, that's when Cody starts pushing into, like, because it requires a bait to beat it, basically, right? Because of the cadence. Like, that's where, like, Sunsei is getting us with cadence. So then what Cody is doing in those kinds of spots is then that is his cue when they start, like, showing that, okay, opponent, like, I presented my back to the opponent. The opponent is now, like, screwing around, looking for the up tilt. This is my cue to go in. That's his, like, that's where he starts busting out those, like, fade, like, those approaching airs, but the ones with the fadeaway to keep them safe at the end. Because that, or his running shine. Like, those are the times that he starts going for those options. And then when the opponent starts, like, playing around those further, that's when he starts bringing out the back, like, that's where he starts bringing out more of the back airs. Like, pushing on their territory, with the back airs double jump, and with the double jump, the timing mix-up, the fast fall mix-up, the drift mix-up. This is the spot where Leffen would, I think, traditionally start wave dashing into them and up tilting to have those superior wall hitbox going in their direction. But there's kind of, like, an element of, like, using the fact that they're respecting the initial hitbox, so they're just respecting it to the point where it's opening up kind of like the Sheik style jumping approach. It's kind of like how when you, like, give Sheik the space to, like, when you give yourself the space to beat Sheik's forward tilt, she's then able to jump or dash cancel into your zone. Because you've given her the room to unlock those options. It's the same dynamic, I think, that we have here with moves like up tilt and Fox's back air in place. Mm-hmm. So I think that could be a dimension of, like, of his game that I think you could probably explore a lot further, and I think would make a lot of sense for you being able to compete with players like Sunsei, because the reality is that, like, you could just get better than him you could just try to overpower him. You are playing the same character. That is a viable solution. But I think a more reasonable one is to just have, like, to be good at the play patterns that he doesn't have, or isn't representing as his, like, solution, because then you have a more complete dynamic to fight him with. And allows you more ways to, like, more ways to win the neutral combat. And also, I think that just trying to overpower people is just not terribly... I don't know if, like, what your policy is on it. I know that for me, personally, I don't find it the most rewarding. But, you know what? Maybe you're different. But I think that either way, that this could go a long way to stabilizing your gameplay against other matchups anyway. Like, Falco jumps to mind. Falcon also jumps to mind. What are your thoughts?
Not quite sure how to respond.
Why? I hope if I have disrespected you greatly,
no.
please.
By no means. I promise you, I'm very straightforward. I'm very large open book. I don't know. I feel like I don't really have a lot to at least, like, contribute. I am definitely, like, a huge aggressor when it comes into the game. I really like overpowering my opponent. I really like just
Smushing him
at them. Yeah, I understand it's not exactly, you know, the best instance, or like the best kind of solution, especially, like, you know, there's always, like, it's everything. Melee is not a solved game. There's so many routes things can take. People can play defensive. People can mix it up. People can just, like, go from playing defensive entirely to just blitzing them and whatnot. I understand what you're saying. I definitely take it into consideration. I just don't really know how much more to say. Yeah, I apologize.
No.
I promise you didn't offend me by any means. I just don't really think I have anything that I can say to contribute. I appreciate the information, and I think it makes sense.
Okay. Is Cody not blitzing him right now? My question would be is Cody not blitzing him right now on this stock to close this?
He is, yeah. Despite, like, obviously backing up, he's playing right outside, like, the disadvantage. He's understanding the percents that, like, these stray back airs that he will do, if Joshman runs into it, he did, but he's gonna fucking die. He's being very conscious of that, and essentially kind of just, it seems like he's just playing right outside the threat range. Yeah, he wants, he even lands one there, and he just wants Joshman to just mess up. But I would say even though he's, like, not on top of him, he's still right outside that zone that I would think that this is still considered aggressive.
So I'm freezing on this particular range because I think that this is really the key to understanding that you are still applying pressure here. So, this is a question I'll ask lots of people, but refresh my memory. Why can't Joshman hold shield forever again?
Shield poke, threat of grab, you're 112, you die. Really, it's kind of like the RPS of, first off, if you get grabbed, you are dead.
But no, but, like, what happens if he just, like, holds shield forever?
Cody will just find more opportunities to grab him.
It'll break, right?
Oh, well, yeah, yes, I don't know why I didn't understand, like, you meant it literally. I thought you meant, like, throughout the game. Like, why can't we just, like, constantly hold shield?
No, I mean, like, literally right now, why can't he do it?
Well,
because it'll break eventually, and then because he's at, like, any percent versus Fox, he'll die. So, with that in mind, Joshman here has a bit of a problem, doesn't he, right? Because he has to leave, he has to exit shield, but, like, exiting shield means that he's in 14 frames of inaction if he just shield releases, or it's like 14 or 15, and 13 if he wave dashes, which is a pretty big opening in this matchup, right?
Yeah.
So, if Cody doesn't want to deal with Joshman's out of shield options, I would say the back air's range is really the most powerful tool, the most powerful ally he can possibly have. Because what does a shine realistically get Cody here? Like, if Cody, like, what are the advantages of Cody being closer to Joshman? It's like he can frame trap him with shine, right?
Correct.
Right, but then he's kind of playing a bit of a gambling game now, isn't he? Because if he's here instead of here, he's all of a sudden allowing Joshman to play rock, paper, scissors with his own out of shield timings, isn't he? Cause,
Yeah.
like, granted, they're weighted in Cody's favor a bit, but, like, shine out of shield hits on 4. 4 isn't exactly far from 1. It's not, like, as fast, but, like, it's not far off. Which means that Joshman has more power if Cody, like, if the only thing that matters to Joshman is getting a hit so that he can try to turn this, like, percent deficit around, Cody being close to Joshman doesn't actually help him. At the same time, being so passive that he doesn't pressure Joshman for being in shield is also not good. We can agree on that, right?
Yes.
So, this is a bit of a conundrum for Cody, but the answer is actually simply to pressure the way that Falcon players, Sheik players, and Marth players, and Jigglypuff players do it. Because by back airing here, remember, Fox's legs retracts at the end of it. Once Cody, like, hits Joshman's shield with this back air, which is -3-ish, what does Joshman have to do in order to hit Cody over here? Can he do anything to directly punish it?
Not really. Trying to grab because of Fox retracting is like,
Doesn't work. Yeah.
Shine Shield doesn't reach.
Up smash doesn't reach either because it's going to hit like here.
I mean, technically you could do the super hard call out and nair out of shield drift forward, and even then I don't even think that works.
Nope, because Cody will walk out of the way, like, or dash jump in place out of the way like he's supposed to. So what's going to happen is exactly what we see happen, like how Joshman loses this. Joshman advanced, Cody, like, moved forward, and then he was able to back air slightly further away. Because he back aired here, like, by moving over here first. So the problem here has to do with frame data. For Joshman to go from here over here, because Cody is, like, outside of his hit range, it costs a wave dash at least, which is 13 from start to finish. Now, with what we know about that, if Cody's -3 here, that means Cody can just back air again and hit him out of the wave dash for trying to come over and hit him. Because rising back air hits on 7. So what Cody is doing very cleverly here is he's just using a spatial pressure, because he understands that, like, the only reason that Fox has fast out of shield options is if you stay with Fox within his hit zone, like around here. But as soon as you're outside of this, his out of shield options cost at least 13 plus startup. So because of this, what he's doing is he's not trying to crush Fox beneath his boot. What he is doing is he is keeping him pinned beneath it. He is applying a gentler touch to keep him under his foot, because he knows that is the easiest way to keep him from getting up.
Understood.
Does that make more sense?
Yes, it does.
So you can also now probably start to see how this works so well versus Luigi, and why the back air into walk away up tilt and things like that work. Because that style of pressure, it works within these kinds of hit windows. Because really what you're doing is, instead of contesting Fox's very powerful immediate out of shield range, no speed, which is like 4 for shine, it's like 7 for grab, 8 for up smash. Like, these are really impressive numbers. But if we move outside of the range of all of them, he is still subject to the same restrictions that apply to every other character, which is 13 plus startup in order to move and hit someone, which means 14 at best. And that's assuming he's able to hit you a shine. So because of this is why characters like Marth and Sheik and Falcon and Falco, in my opinion, have always been traditionally very good versus Fox, relatively speaking, because they're good at this because of the range of their aerials. Cody is simply reverse engineering this and applying this to Joshman, and that's why he looks so untouchable in this interaction. Because it's like, what does Fox do? He has to back up here.
Yeah.
And when he's incentivized strongly to try to force a hit because of this deficit, like, it feels... It kind of lures you into making a misplay, because it feels like if you back up here, you're going to lose because you're running at, like, it feels like time is your enemy, because it is. You have such a health bar disadvantage. But this is one of the ways that Cody gets you. This is the way that some of the ways that, like, some of the best, like, most, like, controlled players of all time get everyone. They trick you into thinking that time is, like, that you have to, like, be respectful of time when you don't. And yeah, it's just this is very elite level pressure, because this is a style of frame trap that people don't think about in this game very often. But this is really the key to making those. This is one of the big keys to making these back airs work. This is also how, like, the fadeaway nairs that Mango does with his Fox and Falco also work. It's how people pressure Luigi when he, like, flies away from their frame traps. It's because once you get them out of the immediate out of shield range, it's whatever the wave dash plus startup time is. So all of a sudden, that, like, aerial that's -5, -7, -6, they're not that big a deal anymore, because it's going to be at least another 13 plus before they can get you.
Understood. This is super informative, and I really just can't wait to kind of implement this into my own kind of play.
This is how the Hungry Box back air works, and why you can't punish it. Because he always lands outside of that zone. So then you wave dash into him thinking you can get him, but he's already started his dash jump away and is airborne by the time you're just reaching him. And no character can punish him with it, can get airborne within 2 frames, except Mr. Game & Watch, but then you have other problems, because you're playing Mr. Game & Watch. So, it's, no, like, this is, all of the spatial pressure in this game comes from this.
Understood.
So, can I count on you to have some ideas on how to use this by the time I see you next?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have it? I am very looking forward. What I notice with you is you always come up with great ideas. So I very much, this I'm going to assume will be no exception, and I cannot wait to see what you come up with. So I'm going to let you go, but did you find that this was helpful?
Incredibly helpful. And also, like, it was, I don't know if the word is inspiring, but rather it was very, instrumental?
Illuminating?
It was illuminating to understand of just, like, I don't know, it sounds so silly that, like, yeah, you just turn around. It's simple as that, but there's, like, so much more to it, and that I never really considered of how large it was.
Yeah.
And just so that, like, and not only, like, just the situation of just back air, but, like, everything it can mean to apply pressure on the shield, something that I didn't really consider.
Well, yeah, because the fact that shield puts you into disadvantage state means that the opponent has to work to overcome it. So
yeah,
it's okay to be -6. It's okay to be -8, as long as the opponent, what the opponent hits you with takes longer than that. So, like, we teach shield pressure in this game kind of like the way that Fox and Peach learn it. Fox, Peach, and Falco learn it, and Falcon to some degree, where it's like we apply a ton of force all at once. But that's not, the reality is that's not how some of the best pressure characters in the game operate. I would never suggest that Jigglypuff pressures characters more effectively than Fox, but I would say that she pressures characters more effectively than Peach, because she's able to sustain it for longer, and this is how.